It is 6:22, and it is Wednesday. Might feel like Tuesday, but no, we are halfway through the week, just like that. Hillary Clinton coming back from Labor Day, ready to reboot her campaign. Is it going to work? Let's ask Debbie Georgatos, a political strategist, a speaker, author of the book Ladies, Can We Talk? America Needs Our Vote. Debbie, always great having you on the show.
Thank you for having me. Great to talk with you.
So I guess she's doing all kinds of things. Hillary is now taking the email issue very seriously, apologizing now openly. And she's also trying to appear more connected, more humorous, that kind of thing. Well, what do you think of this kind of new Hillary we're seeing unveiled here?
I think this is there have been other relaunches of Hillary. I think that it's a sign she knows her campaign isn't going well. She's responding to polls that show she's not shining. I think that she's getting nervous about it. I don't mean to be unkind about her, and I don't know her personally, but she doesn't have that quality of warmth and engaging way that her husband did. And when he campaigned, he didn't have to. It just was a natural kind of friendliness. I think she seems artificial in this kind of humor stuff. And on the apology thing, I have to say, I think she thought she could put this whole issue to bed without an apology at all. And so I think that's another signal she's very nervous.
Now, is that a smart move of her to now take the email issue more seriously and really kind of express that she didn't treat the issue properly?
I think that it's going to hurt her because for the people who were trying to hang on, say, oh, there was nothing wrong here, they're proved wrong. But I don't know that she has any other choice. I just think that somehow conservatives have left it in the media long enough that she's got to address it. And nothing good comes out on that news. Still, there are serious questions she can't answer.
Now, she has not been campaigning with her husband yet. They're going to roll him out later this month. Could that really be a helpful factor, having Bill on the campaign trail?
Well, it is an odd thing to say. I think people still will come to see him, but she probably will see an increase in her crowds because he's, for people who liked that ticket or liked him, he's still a popular figure. So it might help. But I don't know if it's going to make people vote for her. They may show up. I'm not sure they're going to vote for her.
What's going on? She's got Sanders there, and now Biden might join the race. Do you really believe, first of all, Joe Biden will actually run?
I'm going to take a guess and say yes. I think he will. I think that I do think there is a serious, painful, personal thing in his life with the passing of his young son, of his adult son, and that's a hard thing to get over. But I don't think he'd be talking and kind of flirting with the media this way unless it was pretty serious. And I think he's looking at Hillary's tea leaves too, and he thinks she's in trouble. She's going down the polls, and it's especially interesting you compare her with Sanders, and they have different kind of elements they appeal to in the party.
So if he joins the race, do you think he's going to end up being the nominee?
I have to say I do. I think he's oddly yeah, I do. I do.
Joe
Over
Biden.
Sanders for sure.
So where does that leave the Democratic Party if Joe Biden's their guy? I mean, 'cause, look, he's got his funny ways about him, and I'm still left with the images of him, rubbing the shoulders of that woman. Remember in there's a press event, and he's rubbing her shoulders. Looked kind of weird to me. What kind of a candidate do you think he could really end up being for the Dems?
He does have that Uncle Creepy image to overcome because of the shoulder rubbing. It wasn't just one person. But, he's been in politics a long time, and I think that he is, because he's associated with President Obama, he's seen as friendlier by several serious constituencies in the Democrat voting base. I think that black voters if they're going to move away from Hillary, they're going to go to Biden instead of to Sanders. Sanders, Vermont's like 95% white or something. He doesn't have a showing. Sanders does not have a showing in the black or Hispanic voting base yet.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think the minority communities aren't feeling Sanders?
I don't think he has some of the messages they look for. He hasn't spoken to yet. I think he was trying to launch something recently. I think he was trying to launch something speaking. I don't remember what it was, but it was right before that shooting that led to the Confederate flag and all that, and he decided to drop it. But he's a white liberal socialist from Vermont, and he just hasn't spoken to the issues. He would say what he stands for would help minorities, He doesn't
Right.
speak to or about them.
It doesn't connect. Debbie Georgatos, a political strategist. So next week is the big Republican debate, the second one. Is it going to be all about Trump once again? Is that what we're in for?
I really hope not, only because I think would be a great thing for people to get a good chance to see. Oh, they'll see Carly more. She's not going to be on the big stage, Carly's the arena.
Mm-hmm.
I hope there's a little more balance to it, but yeah, he's going to be central to it.
Is it going to be the 10 in the big stage again? Is that how it's going to work?
I believe it is, and I meant to look that up before this call. I know Carly has announced that she is going to be on that stage, so that would bump somebody off, and there are three of them who are polling at like 1%. I think it's Graham, Gilmore, and Pataki, and those three, I'm not sure, who of them will get to be on the big stage.
Right. It seems like Trump came out even stronger after the Fox debate. Do you think we'll likely see the same thing happen again?
If he keeps up the same attitude he's been showing, he is galvanizing people. And so I think he may continue to surge. I'll tell you about the thing on him. I think if you ask most people who like him, what is his position on X or Y, they wouldn't even know the answer. They're not loving his positions as much as his unwillingness to be politically correct, as his kind of just outspokenness, and they're tired of, and they're really wanting, a lot of voters want an outsider. They're upset with Washington Republicans, and they want someone fresh, new, who will not be politically correct.
Right. Well, he seems to kind of know where the lines are generally, even if he's going after people. We still haven't seen any real repercussion. Do you think that's because he's astute that way, where he knows, look, I can go after someone personally, but he knows not to say racial remarks or other things that might offend the larger public?
I do kind of. I want to say, though, when he spoke about one of his first remarks, I think in his announcement speech, he spoke about immigration and how people were coming over the border, and he was referring to them as rapists and murderers and criminals. And a lot of the establishment class said, hey, that's terrible. We're trying to attract the Hispanic vote. You can't speak that way. But he is polling well among Hispanics. So I think that they're just, I think he's careful in the way he says it. He did later say, of course, not all of them, and there are some who are good workers. And I think, I don't think his personal jabs have been, I think even when he has made kind of personal remarks, people can relate. They say, yeah, that's right. They kind of can relate to what he's saying.
I'm curious, because you see him talking off the cuff. Is there a point where someone is just being spontaneous and people just acknowledge, look, I like this person. I like him. I like his attitude, that kind of thing, versus any particular position. I want this person to lead us. Is that really what we're talking about here?
Mike, I think that's exactly right. And I know it's a central thing you get from him. It's hard to even say why, but you get the sense that he says, America's a good country. The American people are good people. I love America. And I just think that basic is almost Reagan kind of message. I'm not comparing him to Reagan in many other ways, but that love of America message just resonates with him, and people feel beat down by the way the current administration speaks of and to America. And they're really, they want to say, yes, we are good. We love you. We love being told that.
Yeah. One last thing, because him and Jeb Bush are going at each other. He's calling Jeb this low energy creature, right? And it's just interesting to see, because you really have such different people there. Do you think that somehow Jeb will get the upper hand at some point here?
I would be surprised. There are many of the when a lot of the other candidates drop out, those who are way, way down the polls, Jeb will pick up some of that support because he is a standard bearer for the GOP establishment. But he isn't energizing, and I think it's a very funny trait that it happened that Donald Trump picked up on and did that commercial.
Yeah, the commercial where the kid is sleeping while Jeb is talking, right?
Oh, it's painful. I kind of cringe, but at the same time, it's kind of funny. Yeah.
It's interesting to see how Jeb responds, though, because he's a gentleman at all times, it seems, right?
Yes, he is. He's a very classy guy. I think he's a good guy. I just, right now where America is feeling kind of pummeled by criticism from our own government, they're feeling like Americans are being told we have a terribly divided society. They want to hear someone with passion and energy the way Trump sounds. I wish more people knew what Donald Trump stood for, and I wish I knew more about what he stands for on lots of issues.
It's
they like his spirit.
Debbie Georgatos, political strategist, author of Ladies, Can We Talk? America Needs Our Vote. Debbie, thank you.
Mike, great talking with you.
Yep.